day 2 of the, I think it's called the intermittent fasting. It's okay. This is what I used to do back in the day, unintentionally. Yeah, because I'd just wake up, I wasn't hungry, so I'd just go throughout the day. Have me some coffee though. How to deal with disappointment. And one thing I've picked up talking about adapting is the intermittent fasting. It's like fasting for 16 hours since your last meal or something. So I gotta wait 3 more hours. It's 2 o'clock now. I was up late last night, like 5:50, 6 a.m. And the last meal's around 2, 12, 4, 06. I have to wait 4 hours. Goddamn, boy! I got this. That's the I think the magic and the curse of intermittent fasting. That it depends really when you wake up. Like how long do you have until you can have your next meal? And I'm so used to, like, for I don't know how long, months, I was so used to just waking up and bulking. And the one thing of powerlifting is food. The calories, protein, everything you need for your muscles. So I was so used to just waking up, having breakfast, eventually heading to the gym, doing everything I needed to do, another meal. And there was a lot of kind of bulking, the food and everything, but within reasonable quantities. But now I did that TDEE calculator. I don't remember what it's called. You can look it up. Just look up TDEE calculator, and it's there. It gets your age, your weight, percentage of fat. I believe that's optional though. You can kind of guesstimate. I don't know. And for cutting, I am to eat 2,300 calories. And it has this, near the bottom, it has the macronutrients of how much macronutrients you should be taking in. If you want a high protein or low carb or whatever, it shows you the grams of the carbs, protein, fats, everything. But funny enough, I've gone weeks eating like 1,300 calories, still going to the gym. So I've got to get back into that MyFitnessPal to see what I have been doing recently. Let's see how I'm doing with that. But yeah, TDE calculator, MyFitnessPal on your phone. That's the fastest, easiest. Just pull out your phone, like put the information in, and you're good to go. The shitty thing about that is it doesn't, for weightlifting, it can't determine how many calories are burned through weightlifting. So really, you just put in your cardio, do weightlifting, and you know you're at a calorie deficit. Depends what you eat that morning before the gym. Don't be eating like cake and donuts and high caloric shit food. I ended up gaining 20 pounds. That is the wrong direction. It's not like I stayed the same. I gained what I promised myself I'd lose. If this happens to you, don't be deterred. Don't just quit. Don't beat yourself up. There are so many more days, weeks, months in your life. Just reimagine your goal. Because since then, I've read different ways to set goals. One of those being, don't contain yourself in a very specific goal. Like 6 weeks, 20 pounds, that means I've got to live up to that 20 pounds in 6 weeks. But rather, set a goal, wait for yourself. Don't put limitations on time. Just say, I want to lose 20 pounds. And then work to lose that 20 pounds. Doesn't matter when you lose it, just as long as you lose it. And my issue was prep meals. So I didn't have those prep containers yet. I got those a couple weeks ago. So I got this big glass tray, put a bunch of chicken breasts or tenders, whatever they were, and cracked eggs all over top of them. Put some veggies in, baked it, 40 minutes at 400 degrees. It's pretty good. It's a good prep meal. And I know I'm not one to set timed goals on most of anything. I feel like if I tell myself I need to go to the gym every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then switch it up like every other day thing, if I don't make it one of those days, I'm gonna feel like crap. So I just go when I can. When I have the time and when I have the energy, I just go. And luckily that's been about every other day, every other 2 days. So it's been fairly consistent with this idea. Just go when I can, prep when I can, eat healthy when I can, and lose weight when I can. But yeah, the part of those prep meals is following that paleo diet. The last week, half a week, I don't know, it hasn't been very long. But don't beat yourself up. If you didn't make a restricted on time goal, like my 6 weeks, move on. It's nothing to focus, like sit and focus on. Nothing to beat yourself up over. Because that's bad. Tearing yourself down. That's not healthy. Just move on from it. Learn to adapt with your goals. Learn to adapt with your program. Adapt. Learn to adapt with your program. And it helped me a little bit because my friend started going with me to the gym. Sadly though, him and his fiance are waiting till their jobs turn full-time to get the actual membership, and I had run out of all my free passes for guests. So he hasn't been there for the last 2 weeks, I believe. but in his own time, he'll get his membership. But yeah, I started pushing myself. That's another thing you can do, is push your cardio, push your times, push different workouts. Like for me, I would just do the bike because I can't walk straight or for very long. But yesterday, I happened to do the treadmill, not for very long, but it felt good. It was nice. I walked for 5 minutes and then tried to run. That was funny. That only happened for a little less than a minute, and then I had to stop it. Did the row machine, not a fan. Didn't really do much for me. And then back to the bike. And then every other day, I believe, I'm at the gym, I keep breaking my PRs with the weights. Sorry, I don't know if that was in there. It's a text. So, adding to this, first and foremost, here are my weights, because this original video that it started with, I video recorded, that's like an 80s term. Video recorded a week, 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty behind on this shit, even when it's summer and no school or anything. Not the best, but yeah, that was at least a week ago. I feel like longer. Doesn't matter. It wasn't yesterday. And in that time, like I've talked about, 20 pounds and then 20 more pounds, but I have been breaking PRs, increasing the reps for those PRs, pumping myself full of protein, resting fairly well. I mean, I worked out for 2 weeks pretty much straight every single day, and I mean, not giving myself too much of a rest time, because usually you like work out, push yourself, rest a day. That wasn't for me during the 2 weeks. I mean, that is my repertoire. That's my MO. But during those 2 weeks, I just kept wanting to go, so I just kept going every single day for 2 weeks. It was nice. There wasn't any aches, surprisingly enough. I think it's everything I do outside of the gym that kind of helps with the healing. A lot of hydration. I take L-glutamine to help heal, I guess. And my brother went laser tagging when he came down to visit. The next day he was aching really bad. He popped him 2 of those. The next day he was fine. No aches, no pains, nothing. So, when in doubt, L-glutamine. Bear with me. Yeah, that, I told you I was about 250 when I proposed losing 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Gain 20, gain 20. These are my weights now. And because of that, or due to that, is because I have noticed I'm eating less. It's the same foods, nothing has changed in the meal, but it's a lot less. It's like 1 meal out of the day kind of shit, which, you know, you can, like, oh yeah, if you're trying to gain muscle, you gotta eat a lot more, you gotta feed the muscle. But I think my genetics play a factor as well, personally. Genetics have a lot to do with a lot of things. I've always just been kind of a big guy, Always the broad shoulders, the big legs. My legs have always been muscular. My friends like, oh yeah, my glamour muscles have always like looked really good. It's like, oh, good for you. My legs are the best. But no, really, all losing weight is what you eat. And it is essentially calories in, calories out. But I think it's like for the last week, I've lost, as you see in the previous images, about 6 pounds. I was above 291, so it's closer to 10. I just didn't take a picture of it because I didn't think of it at the time. Wish I did. Like, I wasn't working out the last week. My body just kind of finally, the CNS or something just kind of switched off, and I was like, we're kind of done for the time being, you know. You really pushed us the last 2 weeks. We'd like a bit of rest. So it's not that I didn't have motivation. There's like 5 out of 7 of those days I really wanted to get to the gym, and either it was I didn't have the time, or like I remember 4 days ago, I drove to the gym. I was packed and ready. I had my creatine. I had my protein for afterward. I had all the change of clothes. I had my music set up, and I was sitting in the parking lot. And I'm texting my girlfriend. I don't know if I want to today. Or just something, this deep feeling like my body just doesn't want to. It's like I would rather be home fixing my brother's controller that he broke playing Dark Souls. The RB Smash. But Io. Yeah, I don't know. It's the 2 weeks have been nice, but then the 1 week, it's always good to listen to your body. I digress. The meaning for this break in video is to talk about diet. There was a study, I don't remember who did the study, but it was of the, shoot me in the foot if I get this wrong, Hadza tribe. They went and studied, I think 35, 37 men and women, and they're a tribe that still hunts and gathers. So the men go out and they hunt, and they come back, they cook the food, and they have enough food for a while, and then they go out and hunt again. They come back, cook the food, they have food for a while again, so forth and so on. And the women go out and they're always weaving baskets, creating stuff, picking berries, raising children, everything they need to do. But they were able to measure the amount of energy they use per day through their urine, because they put something in their water. And one amazing thing is that the people of the Hadza tribe exert the same amount of energy as Americans and Europeans. And they believe that was because they go through a spike of exercise, of hunting, and then it plateaus down to rest, because they have enough food that they're going to survive off of. Once they need food again, they go out and spike to go hunt, and then they rest because they have enough and everything. But Americans, Europeans, we're always on the go, so it kind of matches up perfectly. So then they asked, well, if it's the same amount of energy used than Americans, Europeans, what is so different in their lifestyle? And they found it's because the people of the Hadza tribe, they don't overeat. They don't eat junk food. They don't have the money to go out to buy Cheetos and ice cream, Doritos, bagels or donuts or something. No, they get what's just on the earth. The berries, spices, meats. So they do, like, that's going into the prep meals now too, is we don't have to hunt, but we exert the same amount of energy as a tribe that still hunts and gathers, which was eye-opening for me at least. I'll link the article in the description for anyone who cares to read. But it was amazing to read, because it also, the article always also pokes at other issues of working out. That's basically the whole article, is that working out, going to the gym doesn't do as much as you think it does for you. Because I remember reading in the past, not going to be an article because I don't remember where I read it. Excuse me, I don't remember where I read it. But 90% of weight loss is in your diet. So you growing up and always being told you are what you eat. 10% is what you do. The exercise you do. I mean, you don't even have to go to the gym and exercise. You just like walk to work, take a walk around the block. If you're, I mean, your job even, if you're back in the receiving end of like Lowe's, Home Depot, some shit, factory, that's your workout right there. So, those of you trying to lose weight, don't go out, buy yourself like a few $1,000 treadmill. I mean, if you want to, go for it. I'm not shitting on that idea for anybody, but just know that you don't have to. Save your money and put it into better foods, the prep equipment, the little trays, so you're ready for the week. You don't need that gym membership. You don't need all those excessive accessories in your home that's going to help you, I don't know, increase the steps throughout the day. My aunt, if I may need to ask her if it's okay to put this in here. Shut up! She bought a treadmill, and she's always talking about the steps that she puts in throughout the day. And I sat down and told her about the Hadza tribe, because that whole thing was an eye-opener for me, because I knew about the 90% diet, 10% exercise kind of shit for weight loss, but it's when you're able to, for me at least, when I read an article that compares it to another real life situation, that's the defining factor for me. So you can tell me like, oh, you are what you eat, it's 90, 10%, whatever, just watch your diet, and it's like, oh yeah, no, whatever. But then you talk about a tribe who is always, like, in your mind you think like, oh yeah, they're so fit. Not that they care about it, they could care less. It's just the media sensation idea. It's our own belief that, I mean, it's not just a belief either, it has to do with health issues as well. But it's you go to a tribe and you're like, oh man, you guys look good, you're fit. They're just give you a fucking lunch. They're like, what the fuck are you on, dude? It's like, you eat those mushrooms, you weren't supposed to eat those. But yeah, hopefully this helps. Fucking Hadza. Back to it.